Forge Captain Kyle Bekker and Mitch Houlahan bring you the Captain's Log on the Forge Audio Network.
Why don't you just share who we're talking to right now?
Yeah, so this week's a special one. We've brought in a guest, one that we hold dear to those around the club. Louie B, now at CHCH, used to be a part of obviously the media team within Hamilton Sports Group, doing stuff with Ticats and Forge FC, and we're happy to have him hear what he has to say about his experience to date.
Ticats on-air host, Forge FC's first ever digital host, Forge legend, Louis B. Dave, thanks for that insight, by the way, and for everyone listening. Our trusty producer behind the scenes, Dave Butko, his brother.
Yeah, so this episode's real special.
So we asked Dave for a little behind the curtains of his brother, and all we got was that his name's really Louis.
Which is why I can't wait to ask about this, because I'm pretty sure he's going by a stage name. Dave's saying it came about naturally and organically, but like to just fully commit to a full different first name is good. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about it.
I mean, you're getting into showbiz. Why not?
That's showbiz, baby.
I mean, Louis B. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, Louis B. doesn't sound as good, so I'm not mad at it one bit, but I want to hear his take.
Louis B. I'm excited to hear about his morning show experiences. You know, I'm a big morning television guy.
How long has that been going, or is that of recent?
Who, me?
Yeah,
pretty recent. I told you since I tested the waters when Sid popped over to breakfast television. I wanted to see what it was all about.
Nice.
But now I'm hearing that
still going strong.
Yeah. Summertime. They take the foot off the gas during the summer.
Well, everyone's back at school now, though. It's got to be good. Things are heating up.
Oh, I know. It's gonna be heating up. Yeah. They definitely got some good programs coming up. But yeah, Louis B filled in for the old morning live on CHCH I was seeing. So I'm excited to ask him about that. Yeah. We also, not the greatest highlight pack, but I think he should help us walk through the old highlight package today.
Oh, from Halifax.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys dropped themselves a stinker. The one and only.
Hey there.
No way. Buddy.
No way. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
What a time, huh? Got old Louis B.
Look at this.
On
you see
the
this?
line, live and direct. Championes. Big Forge guy, huh?
So, big Forge guy. Forge told me Facebook told me it was exactly 4 years ago today. You guys won the Island Games.
Come on. What a time that was,
yeah.
Huh?
Are we going to get into that today?
Let's just get right into the old Island Games.
I think we should get into it, because I just saw a thing. Literally just heard Bobby say that PEI was the pinnacle of Louis' life. He just said that.
Did Bobby say that, or did Beck say that?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
did he actually? Is that an actual quote?
That's the actual quote. The bubble was the pinnacle of his life.
That is wild, dude. How do you feel?
He said you had some good times in PEI.
We did. First of all, dirty chirp from Coach Bobby, like just a dirty chirp. Second of all, it was an experience, man, and I think I was around for year one with you guys, and like coming up and really kind of getting the feel for what was being built, right? Like, I was with One Soccer at the time, and I was in the locker room with you guys, and like we were shooting these funny little videos. We weren't sure what the league was going to be. And that was year one. And then year two, it's the bubble, right? And so you're kind of thrust into the situation. And man, the bubble was an experience. Was it the pinnacle of my life? Coach Bobby, probably not. But it definitely gave me a new appreciation for for what you guys do, the way Bobby operates, and you guys really went to work, and that, and like being up close and personal to David Edgar on the pitch, man. David Edgar as a player, to have a front row seat to the way David Edgar talks on the pitch, man. That was a full lesson in football right there.
On the pitch.
Yeah. Oh, on the pitch and off the pitch was pretty good too. But on the pitch, man, he just played with the level of intensity. Like, I've been around the Ticats a while. I've been around professional athletes, but like Eddie's intensity is just something I've never ever seen before. And to see it at the Island Games, where you kind of got the sense that this was going to be kind of near the end for him. He wanted to win one, obviously, and it was that was awesome. The Island Games, 4 years ago. Unbelievable that it was 4 years ago. It was a very stressful 6 weeks of living in a hotel room. But you know what? I wouldn't change those 6 weeks for anything. Just for that little medal that may or may not be stolen right over there over my shoulder, man.
Dude, that's amazing. You said a few things there that I want to get into, because you might have just peeled the curtain back on something that I don't think I knew about. Dude, I did not know other teams were leaving that bubble to go on an excursion. If we had the option to that, I'm bringing that up tomorrow, because that's insane.
Buddy, you didn't see, there was like one day it was like Pacific was like splashing around at the beach. Like there was specific days that they like closed like certain things that certain teams could go to. And literally I went up to Bobby. I'm like, why aren't you doing these things? He's like, it's a business trip, Louis. Louis, this is a business trip. We're not here to have fun. We can have fun when it's done. This is a business trip, Louis.
I mean, that sounds 100%.
Honestly. Like I think if you said, what do you think he said? It would have been along those lines. Like, it's just, there's not even, what are you crazy? What do you think? We're going to have a day off? What are you, dumb? Unreal.
I mean, even if you ask Bobby tomorrow, like, he's going to be like, yeah, obviously I shut it down.
Yeah.
We're going to the beach.
Did we win? So what else do you want?
You think Eddie's going to the beach?
Yeah. Guy. But leading into that bubble, did you have an option if you did or didn't want to go to that? Or was it like, we're doing this, you kind of have to go?
So the year before, year one, I'd worked at One Soccer, and like I didn't really have a full-time job. I was coming off a radio thing, One Soccer. They were just getting up and running. First of all, they didn't have a plan for me, and like that was great. They're like, here's a camera, here's a very expensive camera, here's a laptop, like go do some work. So they sent me in, like they said, we did like stupid shit. Like I think there was a ping pong tournament that AJ is still asking me about. Like he still wants tape of this ping pong tournament from like year one that I don't know where it is. But yeah, and so I got hired by the Ticats, actually, like Hamilton Sports Group, at like January 2020. So I was literally on the job for about 2 months before the whole world shut down on COVID. Like, because I was going in like Monday, like with Corey and the boys in the Ticats TV room, and just like, what do I do? Like, okay, like this is pre-COVID. Like this is the off season, right? This is January, and like luckily, luckily I think you guys had some games there, some pre-Champions League games, the CONCACAF, whatever they were calling it at the time. So there was like things here and there that I could focus on, but it was like Ticats, like, what are they paying me full time to be here for? Like, what do they pay me? Like, nothing had happened, nothing was going on. And then COVID hit. And so everybody got sent home. You guys had that work back. There was that whole plan, and then the Island Games came up. And so basically, because I had just worked in One Soccer the year before, and because like Forge was limited on how many people they could actually send, here was Louis in the middle being like, hey, can you shoot some stuff with One Soccer? Can you work with Ollie Platt and Nora, and can you also like do Forge specific things? So, game days, every single game, I saw every single minute of soccer, every single minute of that tournament, man. Like whether I wanted to or not, I was at that University of PEI, like every single second of soccer that was played in that tourney I saw. So during the games, I would just shoot, I'd have a camera. Like I think I got a pretty filthy goal of like the opening goal. I think was it did you score in the opener?
No, Novak scored the opening goal.
Novak scored the opener.
And then or Calgary scored first, then Novak tied it, and then I scored in the second half. And then they scored real late on some questionable handball. The fourth official just calling a handball from halfway line, which weird.
Yeah, I love that.
Says, and everyone says, "Oh, it's fixed for us." Yeah, tell me when a fourth official has told the ref he saw a handball from the halfway line.
Because it was the far side, right? So, like, if you guys Like it was like away from the university. That's where the goal was scored.
Yeah.
I remember that because I think I was on the post, or I think I was on the flag, or behind the net or something for One Soccer. So anyway, so it was just like, hey, you know, and I don't know if I can say it, so I can say it now. I don't work for either, but they're like, One Soccer is going to pay some of your salary. Hamilton Sports Group's going to pay some of your salary. Like you're going to have to do both. And like I was saying before my internet went to shit, it was just like, it was just something that, it was just such an experience, man. Like, you know, we joked right away coming out of it. Like I said, 4 years ago tonight, we were free from the bubble, right? We were at a restaurant for the first time in 6 weeks. We were, you know, drinking beers for the first time in 6 weeks. Well, we were anyway. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was your first beer. It was definitely not my first beer at the tourney, but it was just, and it was something at the time. And like, I had done some pretty like big things for One Soccer. So like the year before, I went to the Cayman Islands by myself to cover like Canadian men's national team versus Cuba, like by myself, you know, $50,000 in camera equipment. Like, go down. Like I was the only North American media basically there. They sent me to Cayman Islands. They put me up at the Margaritaville Resort in the Cayman Islands. Meanwhile, Canada Soccer was staying at the Ritz-Carlton Cayman Islands. Just saying. And then, they sent me to Florida for Canadian men's national teams. I did a couple of Can Champ games throughout. So, like, One Soccer knew what to expect with me. The Ticats were still trying to figure out, like, how do we use you, Lou? Like, we made up this title for you, digital host. Now everybody's using digital host. Like, Mac thinks it's, like, her own thing, right, that she can take it. And she's got to remember who got her there first. Who you know, as the Ticats would play, you know, stand on the shoulders of the people before you. That's just saying.
Buddy. This is good. I'm absolutely going to jam Mac up. Like, you're just not even paying tributes to the ones before. Who is this? Who do you think you are? A little too big for yourself now? Unreal, dude.
She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
Dude, so speaking of just staying on the bubble for a little bit longer, how crazy was it from your perspective? So from us, when we were in it, like as players, like it just the second we got in, it was like Hunger Games. For you guys, you were obviously like you had media. You guys got to do your own thing a little bit. There's obviously you guys had that nice little storage room full of alcohol. That was pretty sweet. That we all kind of may or may not have dipped a toe into. I don't know. But from your guys' perspective, was it just bizarre watching this kind of like social experiment go down in terms of like how the teams were coexisting, like who was serious, who was kind of checked out, who didn't want to be there, who was like, all right, we're about this from day one kind of thing?
Yeah. And I think, you know, being like so close to you guys and seeing the difference in the way that like Bobby took it and the way, and like this, I'm not going to throw any other coaches under the bus in the way they did it, but that's a great way of putting it. It was a social experiment. We didn't know what we were doing. We'd all have like staggered like breakfast times, right? Or we'd all have staggered lunch times. And there was that one team room that sometimes you were allowed in, but sometimes you weren't, and don't go close. Yet we all shared this one big main hallway, right? We all shared this. We all shared everything. I remember the constant stream of like drop offs because there was like one Uber Eats, like it was pretty like Uber Eats going big, and there was like some PEI Charlottetown specific app that you had to get, and like I must have my driver on speed dial or something because he'd whip around with the new 6-pack from the local brewery pretty frequently. But yeah, man, it was really weird because it was just, you know, these people, like you guys were competing, you know, for this championship and this title, and you guys wanting to defend it, and, you know, everybody, you know, forges the team to beat, and how do they stack up against the way you guys played last year. But yeah, man, it was just a really, like, and full credit to them for pulling it off, right? Like we're talking July, August, September of year one of COVID. We're not talking like a year into it. Like a lot of work went into it. But yeah, man, I remember getting in trouble about complaining about the food. Like the media, like first of all, media and food, like that's the one rule. Like you got to make sure they're fed because they're going to snap. And they're going to complain about the food no matter what. So I remember this one time, it was like me and the rest of the One Soccer. And it was like after like the third terrible, like scrambled eggs in a pan type thing. And here's a piece of fruit. An Ottawa radio guy was just like, I can't believe they got to eat that. Like they're feeding us this, like this is bullshit, whatever. A short employee who worked at the league year 1 and 2.
A short employee.
she got up and she like just for 90 seconds just ranted to this radio guy like, and you know, such a problem about the food. Like, you might be able to. I don't want to call her out, but she's got the same name of a very legendary cartoon character. Maybe a mouse. But anyway, she just went off, and like she raised some valid points. Like, we were all going through the same stuff. Like, we were all living it. Yeah, the food's no good, but here we are. So it's like, you know, they're feeding us. Like, that's great. We don't have to fend for ourselves. But it was just this iconic, like 90-second breathless rant, and the rest of us just looking. And be like, yeah, but the food's still shit, so it doesn't matter. Like, it was just like one of those things that like, dude, it was a so nice funny. Like, just break the tension, because there were moments, and I gotta imagine with you guys the same way. Like, even on the regular,
the food is you nailed it. And so I think every single person had a day or a meal where you just fucking snapped, and it was the best thing ever. It was like, sweet, you're gonna bring this boiled chicken out for the 6th day in a row, guy. There was multiple people on our team who straight up opened, and the best part is they would give it to you with like the tin foil thing on, like the hotel thing on it, as if it was gonna, like, you're gonna pull it open and just be like mesmerized by like the Michelin star dish you're getting. Dude, there was multiple people. Lid comes up and it's just a full punch into the plate of food, and just like, F this. Storm out, and then you look over at Bobby, and Bobby's just like, all right, keep going.
Yeah, save some intensity for the pitch, man. But the food, like, it was just like I said. And you know what? And full shout out to One Soccer, because like we kept bitching, and finally they're like, you know what? Everybody gets an extra $500 for food. Like, go get your Uber Eats or whatever. You know, here's $500. There were like 2 different nights they did like a full lobster dinner. Like, I'm talking hundreds of lobsters. Like, that showed up on my Facebook a couple weeks ago too, and it's like, where the fuck was this? Like, what? Like, it took me a while to put 2 and 2 together. But like, they treated us really well, and they really was like, it was an experience, man. Like, see you guys, like I said, see you guys win up close, like, to really be ingrained. Like, you know, year one, like I said, I was around, but just you guys who were there from year one, who were there to year 2. And you guys, like, you really welcomed me, because reporters can be pains in the ass, like a pain in the ass. And, you know, that was always my goal, was not to get like annoying with you guys. And I think, like, you know, going through something like that, like I say, like, we weren't in the rabbit hole together, but we kind of went through our own traumatic experience together. Luckily,
I would absolutely say from a player's perspective, like, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Obviously, media, you walk a tightrope in terms of that relationship with players. Like, do you get too friendly? Is it good? Am I going to be annoying? All of a sudden, I'm going to say something about him, and all of a sudden, we thought we were like boys, whatever, and then it gets like turns sour really quick. But like, the fact that Bobby's joking in a podcast saying that was the pinnacle of your career, I think it's like a testament to like how ingrained you are within the boys. Like, obviously you're not around as much so often now. You're working with CHCH. You're doing bigger and better things, which is awesome. But like, anytime you come back, anytime our like paths cross, like, everyone who's like you've kind of been there with, like, you see it, like, everyone's buzzing, everyone's like, the chirps are flying, it's great, like, you're dapping everyone up, like, and I think that's pretty special to see, and I think it's definitely unique as well from your lineup.
You gotta give it to Mac too, what she's done without Runway, getting Bobby to say shit like that.
Yo, listen, and that's the other thing. Like, I give Mac total credit, man. She's a pro. Like, I chirp her, but you know, she's a rising star. I had her on my podcast this week. And the way she gets Bobby to just chill, like, there's just something about it where she just gets him laid back. And like, I had those conversations with Bobby. I remember one time during the bubble, I broke quarantine because like somebody got back to me. It's like, oh, Bobby wants to see you. I was like, oh, I'm like, what do you mean Bobby wants to see you? He's like, yeah, Bobby, you know, he wants to talk to you about something. So I go down there. I'm like, all nervous. Like, I had to cross you guys. Like, it was the first time I'd like gone through your space, right? So like, I'm peeking my head in, like, who's dorm mates with who? Like, you and Eddie are like playing cards and stuff. I think Eddie was reading a book. Eddie might have read like 100 books that fucking summer games. But so I go by, and Bobby's all the way at the end of the hall, right? So I go down. There's like a bottle of Kraken just sitting in the table, the middle of the table, bottle of Kraken. And I'm just like, okay, like, what's up, man? Like, what's going on? He's like, can you tell these One Soccer people, these CPL.ca people, to shut the fuck up about the U21 minutes? I'm gonna get the U21 minutes. Like, what do you think I'm doing? I got a plan. Like, you go like, and he's because I'm like my pants. I'm like, why would his Bobby want to see me? Like, what did I do? Like, what's gone wrong? He's like, they gotta shut the up about the U21 minutes, man, because I'm gonna get them. Like, I'm not gonna throw it away because of our U21 minutes. Because they were writing articles about it, like they were talking about it on the broadcast. So anytime you say like Bobby's not paying attention,
it was coming into like the last two games, everyone was losing their mind as if this guy hasn't left every single stone unturned. Like, like the people who've had conversations with him, you think he's just gonna piss that away? Like, come on,
man, that was a pretty good Bobby impression.
I like it. You kind of went like a little mafioso too.
Yeah,
it's It's not an easy one, but that was good.
You gotta find out like Louis. There it is, Louis. You gotta tell him to shut the fuck up about the U21 minutes, man. But that was like, yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Sorry, I'm not around much, so I don't know if this story's gonna get back to him and he's gonna yell at me. But the Kraken being the drink of choice too, I think was a nice touch for me because I just walk in, I'm like, can I have some? And he's like, yeah, sure, go for it. Like, yeah, go for it. Yeah, no, that was the time.
It's so funny because I think anyone who's crossed paths with Bobby is like, when you do get that call in, you're like, oh, this is gonna go. Like, you have no idea how it's gonna go, and you obviously assume the worst because he has that demeanor. But so many times you walk in and it's hilarious, and you walk out with something legendary like that.
Yeah, that was great. That's a good Bobby. And then even when you guys won last year, like I was just kind of walking across the pitch. Bobby was with the battalion. We're just kind of passing, and like I was there, wanted to be there to see you guys celebrate it. So Bobby just starts like walking, beelining towards me. Oh wait, that's 4. I just keeps walking, just gives me a hug. Like just keeps walking. He's like, that's 4. And luckily, like Corey was there. Corey got the whole video. Like, so I got this and that video, and then I got the video of you the first time at training camp at Redeemer this year. First time we saw each other. You're like, Louis, get over. And so my camera guy's like following it. He's like getting this close up of the hug. And in the same video, in the same video, I also have Eddie be like, is that butthole? Is that butthole? He's the only one who can call me butthole, and like it doesn't bother me. It's my entire life, and I'm sure David might be able to add to this. But
you have to let everyone know that's an unbelievable nickname, and Eddie's called you it since day one, Louis Butthole.
Since day one, like player, maybe became a coach, and I was like, okay, well maybe he'll grow out of it. Like maybe he's too mature for butthole. Nope.
Are you crazy? Dude, that's the best part now is you're pulling up with like a CHCH camera, the camera guy who does not know who David Edgar is, and he's just screaming butthole at you all the time. Oh man, it just speaks to the guy. It's unbelievable. The best. Just
and it's funny you say that. Like when I pull up, like it's funny like seeing like the newer players, like guys who've been there, like no, like oh yeah, CH guy comes around. It's like nah, man. Like day one OG, like I was your first interview once you signed, like. Yeah. I was there when they called it Forge, and that's the other part that's like it's so near and dear to me. Like you guys obviously, but just this team too, man. Like, I've never been impartial. Like there's videos of me kissing the trophy 4 years ago that prove that my sweat, right? Like I've never been impartial, but I've never really been that big of a soccer fan like growing up either. But it was just something about the way I had that front row seat, front row seat to you guys, a front row seat to Bobby. And just the winning culture that he built, like it really turned me on to like this sport and appreciate the finer details about this sport. And I think that's like for a lot of casual sports fans, growing up in Canada, soccer's not always going to be that sport, and it's something we're learning now, even like as fans, how we cheer and how we learn about the game. But like, man, I got the greatest teacher in Bobby. That when I had questions, he was there, and like just you guys were so meticulous in the way you did things. Like I said, it just gave me an appreciation and knowing you as people, and then seeing what you went out there and did on the field. Like I said, Forge FC, like that, your group, that little cohort will always have that like special place for me. Like I said, I always got time to talk Forge, and always got time to talk to you, Bex.
Oh, all right, well, Louis, I'm excited to talk about CHCH. I was just telling these guys, big morning television guy. But before we do, give us your top Forge moment then.
Oh man, top Forge moment. Yeah, I wasn't at the first one. I really wish I was in Cavalry. That first leg was pretty awesome too. That was because they were convinced that ball was out of bounds, right? They were convinced.
Yeah.
There was that red card that got rescinded because like Bobby pulled me over and was like, "There's no way that's a fucking red card. You tell him right now." And that was another like the CPL one soccer got so mad at me because I tweeted like Forge FC appealing Tristan Borges' red card. They're like, "Where do you get off reporting that?" I'm like, "I'm a reporter. Like, what do you want me to do? Like that's confidential."
I got the scoops.
And sure enough, red card got rescinded, by the way.
Old Louis hot takes is what you should be called.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think last year's was pretty cool just because, like, last year's championship game. Because that Borges goal, like we had seen it. Like, he got the first Olympico, right? You did. He did.
Borges got the first one in year one. I got one in 22, I think. Yeah.
But that first one Borges scored was, like, cool. And I remember telling Bubba, speaking of CH, Mitch, I remember being in the box. Borges is lining up in the corner. I'm like, this is going in. Like, this is going in. And I called it like 15, 20 seconds. Sure enough, like, no cheering in the press box. That rule, like, was over that day because I went nuts. I was losing it. And then, like I said, just the way the game went, the ebbs and the flows, the fact it was against them, like the fact that you won it, the fact that they had to watch you guys win it. And then, just being on the pitch afterwards and, being at the Champions Club afterwards. And I think it, like I said, having been so close to it for the first 2, 3, 4 years, last year was a little bit different. But still, like I said, best Forge moment, Mitch, probably that, just because it felt like I hadn't left. Just like when I go back to practice, it feels like I hadn't left, right? Like, there's that Bobby moment. Anybody who had walked by got a big hug. Beck's dad comes up to me pretty much every time he sees me at the game, right? Like, so it's that. I would have to say last year, but the Island Games, I'm wearing the sweater. I got the gold. Like that. That one's pretty up there. Selfies, champagne selfies in the locker room. That's always a good one. Like, because I didn't get
coming back and like that Borges Olympico final, coming back doing it as the big gun CHCH. That's pretty sweet. Yeah,
that was the moment. Like I said, and it was just such a great night. And again, like, to do it that way, right? Because you knew if the other team had won, they had said that they'd be the greatest team ever, right? They won. Yeah. They won the Shield and they won the title. Like, they were ready to pounce on that. So the fact that it didn't happen, and the fact that you guys are in pursuit of it now, that like actually pulling it off. Again, like, there were all those factors, but the Olympico goal and just the celebration afterwards. I didn't stick around; I had to drive home. But taking pictures with the trophy and Bobby, bad selfie angles, all that shit, right? Like, it was just like, oh man, I can never show these pictures to anyone. Like, this is the worst picture I've ever taken. I saw it.
Oh, buddy, that's so good.
Yeah.
Unreal.
All right, so I saw that you filled in the old morning show, the old morning live this summer. Yeah. And that's a pretty long there's a loyal fan base I'm seeing for that show.
Yeah.
Because I'm a part of that world now. And I'm seeing some comments here from that the old fan group. Pretty positive overall comments from a lot of ladies.
Whoa, guy.
I have a very
Are you getting after the Golden Girls?
I have a very specific demo. Women 55 plus love me. Like, they think I'm charming. I don't know what it is. I can turn on the charm for a little bit. That is my demo. And Mitch, I appreciate you hammering the good comments and not the 2, 3, 4, or 5 random mean ones that keep me up at night. So thank you for bringing up the nice ones. Man, it was awesome. It was awesome. Like, Tim, who does the job, who I was so lucky to fill in for. Before him, it was Bob. Just that's the big time, right? Like, I grew up down the road in Niagara. Like, that's the closest TV station. That's the biggest show. It's the highest profile. This summer was pretty awesome for that. The mornings were early, but yeah, man, I appreciate you saying that. It was
What time are you guys teeing off then? Because I've obviously come in and we had a show recently where I got
give us a little behind the scenes.
Sit on the couch, but what time's tee off time? Like, what time are you guys clocking in?
So my alarm, so I live in St. Catharines still. So my alarm goes off, it's about a 40-minute drive. My alarm goes off at 2:15 a.m. So 2:15, and then 2:20, and then 2:25, and then 2:30. Usually I can get up at 2:15. So 2:30. I gotta be there at 3:30 in the morning. So 3:30.
How long are you guys going for?
So the show starts at 6. We're live at 6. We're live for 3 hours straight, 6 to 9 a.m. And then it's just like, okay, decompress, start focusing on the next show, and getting ready. So it's like waking up at 2 in the morning is not fun. Like it's never going to be fun. There's no right way to do it. Do I go to bed at 10 and nap every afternoon? Like there's no right way to do it. It's impossible. It's just, especially filling in. Like it's one thing if you're doing it full time, to fill in like a week at a time and then go back, and then I'm still recovering, man. I got bags under my eyes since like August.
Jesus, dude.
So yeah, it's tough. Like it's hard. It's mentally like, and then like at 6 a.m. you got to be on, right? It's just like, you know, I obviously don't warm up, but like you're getting your mind awake. You're writing your stories. You're finding the videos. You're finding the funny clips. You're talking to your coworkers because like 6 o'clock, like that light goes on, and you're like, "Good morning, hey!" No matter how bad you feel, no matter how crappy, like, and that's why like I kind of enjoy it because it's just like, okay, like I can turn it on, like it's just a switch. Like as soon as the camera turns on, like I can perk up and you know bring my voice up a little bit and you know talk like this, and that's hilarious. And that no way. All
that's
right,
just how you talk all the time. Stop.
Yeah, right. As opposed to this, and like, and that's the other part of it where it's like, you know that. You know, Louis on TV, and David can attest to this too. Like Louis,
he's pretending now. The TV voice is the real one.
I was never Louis. I was never ever Louis growing up. Louis.
Yeah.
And then this TV thing happened, or the radio thing happened first, and then Forge, and so Louis just became like this character that's on TV in Hamilton. And then you got your boy Lou, who's here, who's got something in his cup and just having a good time with the boys, right? Like, that's it. Two different people.
Yeah.
Like, a little switch. Yeah.
Jesus. Dude, it's crazy.
So I can't let any of those 55, if your target demos, anyone 55 plus, like, we got to cut that part out, though, because I can't ruin my squeaky guy clean image for all my fans out there.
I don't think any of them will be listening to this. Maybe we'll get some new listeners who are crossing over because they found out you were coming on, which we're not mad at. Get us up to 10.
Yo, that's twice as many as I have on my CH podcast. So you guys are fine. Like, you guys are fine, man. I get paid the same regardless of how many people listen to it. So at the end of the day, listen, I'm proud of what I put out there on my podcast, but it doesn't matter. I don't get paid per listener, so.
Buddy, I can't believe you that, like, being there and seeing it, obviously being on the couch and being a part of the show the few times I've been lucky enough to do it. I don't understand how you guys have the energy for it, man. Like, there's got to be a day where you're just like, this.
Every day. What are you talking about, man? Every day.
It's unreal. But you guys, like, the energy's palpable when you get in there and you're like, all right, this is sweet. You guys are awesome. Like, everyone's happy. Everyone's buzzing. And I think there is, like, obviously Mitch being a morning show guy now, like, there's clearly something to it. Like, that's a little something. That's a little pep.
But finishing at, like, when's it finish? 9 a.m., 10 a.m.?
The show finishes at 9 and I'm scheduled till 11:30.
Okay.
But because
go
ahead.
Yeah, my question is, because even after like 20 minutes of Kyle and I talking to each other, like, you just want to have a big cup of booze. you feel like you just put in a shift and you just need a drink. So what do you do at 11:30 in the morning?
I go take a nap, man. Like I said, it's really tough. It's really tough filling in. It'd be one thing if it was my life, right? Like, it was one thing if I could like. You know, I had the worst nap schedule during that time. Like I wear my watch to, like, I track my sleep just to try and see, like, you know, where I can improve what's going wrong. And like, so August, it was like, it recently told me, it's like, you're getting more sleep in September. And I was like, cool, like, let's look into that. So like August is like, in August, you were averaging 4 hours of sleep every night. In September, you're averaging 7.5 hours of sleep every night. And it's just like, man, that's a zombie. It doesn't matter. Like, there'd be days I'd take 2 naps. There'd be days I'd take 1 nap. There'd be days I wouldn't nap. And like, it was just hard to get in that routine. And like, when I say I'm still recovering, like, in all seriousness, like, it does take a toll on your body. Like, 2 weeks, 2:15 in the morning every day, right? And you get out of those little habits that you did find yourself in. Like, you know, I got really good at going to the gym before work. you can't do that at 3:30 in the morning, right? And then you're too tired after. And it's just like, it really threw me off in August. Like, I'm so grateful, just like the Island Games. I'm so grateful I got to do it. It's a career bucket list for me. If they asked me to do it again, I'd be more than happy to say yes. But just one of those experiences, one of those bucket lists. I can just say, okay, I've done that. And there is a part of me that's always like, okay, like now what? Like now what can I do? Like I did the morning show. Tim's not going anywhere. He's super talented. Guy before him had that job for 20 years. So it's like, cool. Now what?
I don't know. Have you ever seen the morning show with Steve Carell?
So I remember, speaking of the Island Games and Eddie, first of all, I had the window seat. Like I had the ticket for the window seat. David Edgar's like, get the out of my seat. I'm like, no, this is mine though. He's like, no, you're going to sit in the middle. So I'd sit in the middle. And then I was watching the morning show because it was like season 1 or season 2. So I was watching the morning show and Eddie just kept looking like, and at one point he's like, that's the morning show? I'm like, yeah. Me and the missus started watching it. Pretty good. He always refers to the wife as missus. Me and the missus. We just started watching that. Pretty good. And every time so often I just turn my head and try to look and see what's going on. But getting kicked out of my seat on the plane for our, it was a short flight to PEI, but still, I earned that window seat.
And I wasn't badge of honor.
Yeah, getting kicked out of the seat by Eddie. It's nothing like the morning show. It's much boring. It's a lot of from 3:30 to 6, nobody really talks. We're all saving our energy. So it's just quiet. And then, like I said, you're in that studio. You feel it though, Max, right? It's kind of running onto the pitch, we're walking on the pitch on a big night. It's just, you just turn on, right? It's just everything you've been working for. For you, it's that 90 minutes. For us, it's that 3 hours or whatever, even if it's just a 2-minute hit. You find a way to get that confidence, that energy, that adrenaline to do your job. And then, like I said, Mitch, you get home and you're like, I'm wiped. I'm tired. I'm mentally exhausted. I'm physically exhausted. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, what kind of advice would you give to, let's say, another, as the first digital host for Forge FC, but just as an experienced guy now, what kind of advice would you give? I mean, first of all, to us rookie broadcasters, and number 2, just anyone else coming through marketing in Forge and Hamilton Sports Group.
Hamilton Sports Group, they're going to give you a lot of opportunities. First of all, they're going to give you a front row seat to see the best athletes compete at the top level of their game. Pick up habits from just about anybody you can, whether it is the players and the way, they treat each other, the way they treat the staff. It really, in the Hamilton Sports Group, you got to be all in for the team, right? Doesn't matter if it's Ticats, doesn't matter with the Forge. That you got to buy in. You got to buy in. You can't do it half-assed, and I'd start there. If this is what you want to do, then commit to it, right? Be good at it, be the best at it, and that's going to take practice. That's going to take time. But if you're as committed as you say you are and you want to be, then keep going. The other thing is just don't say no. Say yes when an opportunity. Like I said, I told that story. I've told that Cayman Island story a million times. I got caught at the border. They kicked me off. They get out in Miami. You had to actually get out of the airport and then check back in. I had this piece of paper that had all my what I was bringing over the border. I got stopped at the border. It was the most stressful thing I'd ever done work-wise. First opportunity, they say, hey, do you want to go to Florida? I'm like, yeah, sure. I just said yes. No matter how awful it was, you have to make the best of a bad situation. And then at the end of the day, it's never as bad as you think it is. And I think that's advice for you guys. If it's this show isn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. All things considered, this episode, I was I don't know what's going to happen. It's 8:00. I'm tired. What's going to happen? It's not as bad as we think it is. It's not as bad as we think it is. And I think
these idiots want to talk to me. Get out of here. Oh, this is going to be the worst.
There's still time.
Yeah. We could ruin it. You want us to ruin it? We'll ruin it.
David,
all right. We actually. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, David, he texted me last week. I think an hour before you guys are about to record. He's like, guys, want you on the show? I was like, what? What? You got to go on next
What do
week.
you
And then
need time?
and then I was hoping he'd forget. And so like this week, like you text, I got the email. I got the email like 5 o'clock. I just got home. I was like, oh sweet, Monday Night Football, shitty game, but it's almost Friday. Like, I got free beers from work today. Like, I'm just gonna sit in front of the television and watch football. And then I get the email. It's like, oh, you got an interview at 8 o'clock. Well, first of all, who has an interview at 8 o'clock, boys? Like, this is nighttime.
Yeah, we gotta put the kids down, man.
No.
The kids have to go to sleep, and we gotta tap in for podcast time.
Fine.
We were all lying on the couch, and we all got that email. We all had the same feeling.
Dude, every single Thursday we get a message from Dave being like, "Yo, we good for 8?" And it's like,
of course we are. We're playing last week. All right. Hey, we got 5 minutes here. We got hard 5 minutes, but I want you to teach us how to break down a game a little bit. So I got highlights from last week's game against Halifax. Little callback to PEI.
Yeah. Just we picked a good one for you. We knew you were going to be on the show, so that's why the boys dropped a stinker.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
So I'll play the highlight pack.
Okay.
You can, I mean,
Dave,
you're the
why
pro.
are you shaking your head?
Pick what
this
to
is
do.
going to go smoothly.
I don't know what's happening now.
No one does, buddy. That's the beauty of it.
Bekker.
Oh.
Kone has done well to keep himself on side. Kone.
Good job by Connor.
In and around it. Did rolls off of center.
That's it.
What
do you got for us?
Listen, was it the best effort? I can't be too critical. I know these guys, right? I want to know what Bobby
You want
said.
me to play it again? I'll play it again. This is the full game highlight pack. Forge versus Pacific. Or
Bekker.
sorry.
For Kone has done well to keep himself on side. Kone. In and around it. Did rolls off of center.
Full highlight pack.
That's it.
Slaps
one off his own goalie. Have you been keeping up with the Forgers or what?
Oh, absolutely. They're doing exactly what Forge does, man. Everybody gets about a halfway point. They're like in 4th or 5th, and then people are like, "Oh, what's wrong with Forge? Is this the year?" And then like you guys just like put it together. Like you guys just figure it out and turn it on. That was ugly, Bex. There's no other way to say that. Does Bobby say anything after that? Like, does he talk? Like, I mean, video sessions got to be pretty rough, but.
Well, it's funny. So you nailed it. You've obviously been around the team year over year. We hit a funny patch. Everyone hits the panic button, and then internally we kind of turn it on. Then all of a sudden we go from like a 4th to a 1st. And we've been playing really well. We came out of a very tough August, and we're buzzing. September's been going good so far, and we're going into Halifax. It's like, all right, boys, people are going to drop points this weekend. We knew Ottawa was playing Calgary. York had a tough result before our game on the Friday night. So it was like this, boom, we go in, we do the business. We're 6 points clear or 7 points clear, whatever it is. And we are flying going into the final 5. And I think that's just when everyone's just like, you know what? You know what would be better? Is if we just shit our pants and watch Bobby lose his mind. Like there's no one says a word. Like we're all buzzing. We're like, this is going to be great, boys. We are feeling it. We're going good. And it's like without fail, year over year, we go in and it's like, you know what? Actually, every single one of us forgot how to kick a ball, and we all hate each other for 90 minutes. No one's going to connect a pass. No one's going to do their job. We're all going to be collectively horrible and drop the worst performance of the season. And then we're going to see what happens. And honestly, it was like, this one was electric because old Coachy comes in after. And I think he was even like, yeah, it's like we do this every year, but this one was like extremely bad. I don't think we had a shot on target. Like that was the only chance we had of scoring, and it was the other team. It was awful.
Man, that you brought another favorite memory, Forge memory of mine though. I like surprised you guys at Pacific once. And it was the 3rd game of the season, and I was on the pitch afterwards, and like literally everybody walked by, like just did a double take, like they didn't put 2 and 2 together of just like putting me in that spot. So that was cool. But yeah, man, because Halifax, like that's obviously tough place to play. They like to say that, but yeah, that was rough, man. That was rough. That was a rough game to watch for sure.
Historically, we've actually done really well there. This year's been a little tougher. Playing there, we got that 2-2 draw real late the first time we went there this season. But again, we were going in there, we were buzzing, and the boys just fell flat. And it was one of those ones after the game where it was like, sweet. So you guys did nothing with the ball. No one ran. The energy was terrible. And what do you expect? Like, it's a competitive league. The other team, everyone is in it until they're not. Like that's with the new setup. Like everyone has had a run in. Halifax, obviously, they had to win out, and you can't win out if you don't beat us. And so they get that game, and they're buzzing. Potentially could have given them a chance to see it out. And we just come in and we just drop a stinker and find out the hard way that anyone can beat anyone on any given day.
Hey, that's the game. That's why we love it, right? That's why it's the beautiful game. Yeah, man. Would they have 5 wins going into that though? 5 wins all year going into that game? Yeah. Sorry, just wanted to make sure I got my stats right there.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, we got 5 minutes left. So,
Louis,
what do you got on?
All right, no. I got one serious question. I think this is the perfect way to end her off. It's not serious at all. But Louis, as the guest, teach me and Mitch how to do an outro of a podcast and just sign us off, buddy. Every single week we get a nosebleed. No one knows what to do, and then we get yelled at by boss man.
So I just think, so for me, so I got into podcast on CHCH. It's just the same things in my head. Like, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of this show or any of the other great shows we have for you on the Ticats Audio Network, including a brand new episode of Max Access. Or was that the one, Max Access? So yeah, man, it's just like it's all fake. It's all fake, man. You just gotta turn it on. You just gotta hit that switch.
Hearing that, I feel like I have a better idea. I think you should just record us one right now, and we'll use it every episode.
All right, ready?
Real generic that we can just keep popping in there.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Captain's Log with Kyle Bekker and Mitch Houlahan. Did I say it right? Hold on. Houlahan.
See, you need a second take.
Take two. Man, everybody needs a second take, right? Like you guys against Halifax. Everybody needs a second take. All right. This has been the Captain's Log with Kyle Bekker and Mitch Houlahan. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Ticats. Oh, it's the Forge Audio Network. Ah, shit, man.
Ooh, third time's the charm. Yeah, the best part is we're keeping all this in.
That was perfect.
Yeah, see, take a sip.
Okay, here we go. This is the last one.
Right.
All right, boys, thanks for having me. You're going to sign this one out, kid.
Right.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us on the Captain's Log for Kyle Bekker, Mitch Houlahan, and producer David Butko. I'm Louis Butko. Thanks for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Forge Audio Network so you never miss an episode of this show or any of the other great shows we have for you. From all of us here at the Forge Audio Network, I'm Louis Butko. Have a great night.
Boom.
Thanks for listening.
This was The Captain's Log with Kyle Bekker and Mitch Houlahan. The guys will drop another episode sometime, whenever they get to it. In the meantime, we would love and appreciate for you to like, follow, subscribe, click on the little bell, do all the things in all the places you get entertained, and you'll find more of this type of content. And that also means we get to spend more time together on the Forge Audio Network.